Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our 30-minute live Q&A session offered here from the beautiful Marti campus. I'm Monica Besson from the Faculty of AgriSciences, here to answer all your questions that you've sent through to us. With me, luckily I don't have to answer all of them, but with me in the studio we have on my far left, we've got Professor Maurette de Tooy. She is our Vice Dean for Learning and Teaching, and she's also a lecturer within the Department of Viticulture and Oenology. And next to me is Amanda Makwaza. She is a master's degree student within plant pathology. I think let's start with you, Amanda. It's always nice for me to hear from students. She is from I can't say small town, but she's from KwaZulu-Natal, from Stanger. And I would love to know, why did you choose to come to Stellenbosch University? A little bit of your story before we delve into the questions.
Thank you, Monica. Okay, so I'm from KZN. It is a small town. Stanger is a small town. First of all, I did not know about Stellenbosch at all when I was in high school. I didn't know also about the Faculty of AgriScience in Stellenbosch. I was helped by my facilitator that was coming to school on Fridays. I wanted to be in the health and medicine faculty, and then he was like, no, Amanda, but your personality, you wouldn't fit in health. So I know a perfect course that would work for you. And then he told me about the Faculty of AgriScience, specifically plant pathology. And then he said, you can still be a doctor, but you won't be working with people, you'll be working with plants. And I was so confused because I never knew about the field at all, which is why then he applied and then I got accepted, and here I am continuing my studies as a master's candidate in Stellenbosch.
Can I quickly ask, do you regret your decision?
Not at all, not at all. Okay, I'm very happy.
We're going to get back to the exciting stuff, but Prof, may I ask, perhaps you want to add on to that, why should students consider studying within the applied sciences?
So maybe starting with a degree name, it's a Bachelor of Science, meaning that the foundation of every degree in agriculture is based on scientific principles. So if you love biology, chemistry, maths, these are all incorporated into our degree, but with a twist or the angle that you've got an applied science connected to the science. And that's where the exciting space lies, is to take your science and apply it into the 10 different departments which represent all the agricultural sectors out there, from food science to animal science, plant pathology, agronomy, grape and wine science, and so you can carry on, forestry and wood sciences. So all of those sectors are serviced by degrees based on science, but applied in that sector. And that's the exciting space, which obviously also assists students with their degree, because the degree leads to careers in those sectors, where if you have a basic science degree, you have to specialize into a sector. So our students immediately are connected and networked through their degrees in the sector that they study into.
Thanks, Prof. Perhaps I can just add, I always say it's like a triangular that you are. Your basis is in science. So you will start with your first year with biology and chemistry and physics and mathematics. We know that you're not going to become a nuclear physicist, so you do physics for the biology stream. And as you then progress in your second, third, and your fourth year, you start specializing to what Prof just has mentioned. Perhaps one of the questions that we just got that was, and that links to that, Prof, is that the student said, I'm not good in maths. Can I study agricultural science? Now, you need to have mathematics in order to study it, but do you need to be good at it?
No, as long as you can pass it, you can pass the degree, because it's biological maths, it's not pure maths, and I mean that is built into calculations in any of the degrees. So as long as you can do the basic maths, you don't need to excel at maths to become a mathematician in agriculture.
Okay. Amanda, from your side, what type of support did you get if you did struggle at the university with some of your in some of your modules?
So in my first year, I struggled with computer skills because there were never computers in school, but I had to do computer skills as a first year student in science. The kind of help I got, I mostly went to my computer skills lecturer and I told her my story that I'm not familiar with computer, so you'll need to teach me from scratch how I work on Excel, how I work on Word and everything. And she was very consistent. That's one of the things I'm always grateful for. She was there as a foundation for my computer skills, which is why I was able to apply like my computer skills throughout all the modules towards my degree. So that's the kind of help I got. But it was just computer skills mostly. But then I did get help. I went to the lecturer and I got help.
Prof. Moret, and does a lecturer like it when students come and ask for help? Or what is your stance on that?
For me personally, but I think we try and make sure that all lecturers are equipped in the faculty, is that I really thrive on students coming to ask questions, because that also helps me to know what are the problems or which part of concept students don't understand, to make sure they do, because at university everything builds on each other. So I love it when students come into my office to try and help them to ensure they will be successful in the end. So I always motivate students if they have a problem or they need assistance with anything. I have an open door policy so they can come and see me at any time. And I think our faculty, I think about student feedback, is really very open to supporting students to make sure that they do excel during their degree program.
Yes, if you are now a current student or if you're a parent listening, the university, we want you to succeed. And if you meet the minimum requirements for our programs, then there's no reason why you shouldn't succeed. There's enough support that's offered by the university, whether it's academic support or even non-academic support. If you've got trouble and you don't know how to study, or you've got problems with time management, or now you've got like excessive exam stress, there's really a lot of support. But the most important thing is that students have to ask for help if they need help. So that's just very, very important. We received quite a lot of questions about the process, and perhaps I can just allude to that. So applications are open and you have to apply before the 31st of July. Students can apply for 3 programs. Those 3 programs can be from our faculty, or it can be from different faculties in the university. And if you don't have 3 choices, you only have 2 choices, then that's also okay. The university will consider you for all 3 choices, and it might be that you get an offer, a conditional offer also for 3 choices. You then have to decide on one choice, because you can only study one thing at the university. So you choose one program that you accept that offer, and you must accept that offer before the end of September. Then, if you are currently in matric, you complete your matric, you work really hard, you get the best possible marks, and then if you meet those requirements when your matric results are released, we will send you a final offer to go and study that particular program. Now, if during the course of the year you want to change a program within our faculty, we would be able to consider you, or if it's like really only in December that you choose that, then you complete a link in the beginning of January and we will reconsider you. We did receive somebody that said that I've already applied and I got rejected. Will we be reconsidered? If you are currently in matric, or if you are redoing your matric and better your matric marks, we can reconsider you with those improved results. It is a link that we will supply to you, that you will get on the web, and then you can submit that for reconsideration. You don't have to submit a whole new application to the university. For our faculty, we do not require the national benchmark test. Die nasionale normtoetse is nie verpligtend nie, except if you follow the School of Tomorrow curriculum, then you have to write the NBTs. But for all the other programs, you don't have to do it. Prof, getting back to the questions, we got here a serious question about a student saying, I'm intrigued by the curriculum's focus on sustainable agricultural practices. given the challenges posed by climate change and soil degradation, I'd love to explore the course's emphasis. Specifically, this question was on integrated pest management and conservation ecology or agriculture. Can you share some insight on how the program addresses these critical issues and prepares students for the complexities of modern farming? Perhaps you just want to, in general, enlighten how we touch on things like this.
So yeah, being in agriculture, it's all about sustainability, being profitable, ensuring that we're environmentally friendly. So I think in the last 5 years, all programs in agriculture has a strong focus on sustainability within the sector that the students will enter in the end. So yeah, sustainability in programs are embedded either as separate courses. Apart from undergraduately, we have a whole master's in sustainable agriculture now, and that should tell you how serious we are about sustainability of agriculture as a sector in the South African sphere. We also collaborate with science or engineering or even economic and management sciences on sustainability to help us and help our students to understand the bigger aspect about sustainability and the future of our industry, and how do we ensure that practices are sustainable and that the sector can stay profitable and competitive in future. So I would say all programs in our faculty have some sustainability aspects related to climate change, the environment, and the other aspect that I think is really about sustainability is entrepreneurial and innovation aspects that will make those changes to become more sustainable. And our faculty is now incorporating entrepreneurship and innovation into most of our programs. And if it's not incorporated yet, it will probably be incorporated in the next 2 years, because that's the exciting space that will change the sector and ensure we are globally competitive and sustainable for the future.
I think I read this morning some stats, and I'm very bad with stats, so you have to Google me to double check, that they said that 40% of the careers that are actually now currently in existence wasn't there 15 years ago. So when we do train students, we really have to look at that. We train students for the future, and we have to be relevant for that, and that's why we touch on all these things. We received here a question here to say that, do you have to come from a farming background to come and study it? Now, Amanda, I know that you are from a farming background, but is that a prerequisite? And then are you going to go back to a farm? Is that are you going to become a farmer?
No, definitely not. I will not become a farmer. And to answer the question, you do not need to have a farming background in order to qualify for the AgriScience program in our faculty. You just need to know that it's agricultural sciences, which means we use science to apply solutions to agricultural problems, which is why it's called agricultural sciences, and that's why we need maths and sciences. I didn't study agricultural sciences in school. I had physics and life sciences, but I still managed to qualify for the program. So you definitely not need to. As long as you have maths and science as your main subjects at school, then you definitely need to go for AgriScience in Stellenbosch.
We received another question where they said, does the Faculty of AgriScience have a strong industry network for internships? And you are currently, even though that you are a master's degree student, you are doing an internship with the ARC. Perhaps you want to touch on that?
Yes, it does. Even from my undergrad, I think one most important thing is to network with your lecturers. Like, just be close to your lecturers and also know other people that are within your industry. One thing that also helped me mostly was my connections on LinkedIn. It did help me as a student who's growing within the industry. And also there are networks, because the reason I was able to apply is because I shared my skills on LinkedIn, and then I was seen as one of the candidates who were good for the job, and then I got accepted. So there are actually if you just connect with people in your field, then it also helps you to know what's happening out there, what positions are there, and then it might be good for you to also get another position while you're still a student in your faculty.
Prof, would you like to add something to that?
Yeah, I think this is really a critical aspect for our students, and many of our programs in the third or the final year, just remember agricultural is a 4-year degree, have an internship or a research-related project that is work integrated or work-based. So, and these internships are really also, from a network point of view, introduce the students into the industry and the potential careers for their future. I can speak on my own department. As Monica said, I'm from Grape and Wine Sciences. And our students, for example, do a 6-month internship in their final year where they're not on campus, they work in industry. And it's fair to say 5 to 10% of the students are actually offered a position on the farm that they worked for, because they are networked, they are part of this farm for 6 months, so if a position opens. So that internship is also internationally well recognized, because the students do not only come with a theoretical knowledge and basis, but they also bridge that gap to apply the practices from the industry. And these internships internationally is really highly sought after, and that I think gives our students quite an edge in the degree programs where there are work integrated learning or internships where the students actually work in industry to gain the industry knowledge and practices that apply to the sector where they do the internship. So in our case, all our students do some form of internship during their degree, and that is really the space where they start to network and start to form ideas where in the sector that they're studying for they see themselves, because our degree is not one degree, one job. The students really have to look at what the opportunities are. And I have a colleague that says he trains students actually not to do what they are studying, but to really open their mind to look at the opportunities from an entrepreneurial innovation. Data science is becoming a major aspect that the industry is demanding as a skill set from our students. So yeah, it's really about, if we look at our graduate attributes at the university, it's about innovation, critical thinking, being open-minded, professional, those aspects which really opens the door that you can actually do whatever you want to with the basis of your degree in any of the potential career opportunities in the different sectors that we service as a faculty of AgriSciences. So yeah, so the opportunity is there. You have to make it work for you and have to take the leap where you want to go as a student with a basis that the university provides.
I think that's what the exciting thing is for you, that in matric, you know, or if you've just recently completed your studies, it is, as Prof says, it's not one degree, one type of job that you're going to do. You actually decide in which environment you want to work. So you look at your strengths, your personality, and then you jump into that way. And in case if you don't know, that Stellenbosch University is ranked number 1 on the African continent for agricultural studies. And we also ranked internationally on the top 100 universities. So if you are going to study within the applied sciences, you want to do it at Stellenbosch University. Sorry, I'm biased, but that is really how the facts is. I quickly want to go back here. There's a couple of people that ask, but when will we be advised when we've been accepted or not? So basically, when you apply to the university, your application is going to be submitted. Then there's a team of staff that looks at your application, see that you have sent in the right marks. You have to apply with your grade 11 end of the year results if you are currently in matric. If you've completed your matric year, then you apply with your grade 12 end of the year results. But you cannot submit, there was another question about which report, you cannot submit your March or your June report. Then we will review your application and your status will change to review. We have not sent out any offers to any student, so don't worry if you have not heard back. We should do that within the next 2 weeks, that we will start sending out offer letters to students, and I've said previously it's conditional offers, and then you must meet those requirements again at the end of matric to get your final offer. We've received here 2 questions about a BCom program. If you study a BCom with agricultural economics, the one was, can you change into your second year to AgriSciences, or do you have to wait, or can you do it only an honours degree? Prof, do you want to answer that, or do I just jump in?
You can jump in, but yeah, I mean, if you want to change, you always have the option to change.
Okay, you've got the option to change, but you need to meet the minimum requirements based on your matric results. So if you study a BCom in agricultural economics because you did not have physical sciences as one of your subjects in grade 12, you cannot change over to a BSc program, even if it's a BSc Agric in agricultural economics and management, where you do not take chemistry, but you have to meet the minimum requirements. And obviously, if you also want to change during your studies while you are studying at the university, you need to make sure that you've passed your subjects or your module at university level. Every faculty wants good students. So if you have failed everything because you have done other things other than studying, you cannot think that now you can change over to AgriSciences and we will take you. So it is quite important that you meet the requirements and that you actually have the right, that you do okay. There's a question about veterinary science. Perhaps I can first, before we go to veterinary science, Prof, can you perhaps just explain what is the difference between studying at Stellenbosch University and doing a Be a Greek program at Elsenburg Agricultural Training Institute, which is 10 kilometers outside of Stellenbosch?
So yeah, if there's anybody that might have applied to both, so the Bachelor of Agriculture that's presented at Elsenburg in cellular technology, plant production, so they are animal production, they have 5 or 6 different streams, is accredited by the university, so your degree is endorsed by the university. You will also attend the graduation of the university, but the biggest difference is it's a Bachelor of Agriculture and the university degree is a Bachelor of Science. So the entry requirements is at Elsenburg from a maths perspective or maths perspective is different. Elsenburg also accepts maths literacy, and their scientific foundation that they do during their program, because it's also just a 3-year program and not a 4-year program. So the amount of scientific depth that is covered in the program is less than at the university. So that's the biggest. The entry requirements are different, the degree length is different, and the amount of science is different. And the other aspect is that students sometimes do not think about when they go to Elsenburg. At this stage, your Bachelor of Agriculture at Elsenburg does not allow you into postgraduate studies, if that is something you might be thinking of in the future.
If I may add, it is postgraduate studies at Stellenbosch University. There are some other institutions that will consider you, that you would be able to do some of their programs. A quick question, are careers under AgriSciences in demand? Any one of you?
I'd say they are in demand because agriculture is an important industry in South Africa. In my own perspective, as a student who's studying plant pathology, in terms of climate change, the weather is changing and new diseases are evolving. Then we have to find solutions to such diseases. We need to know how we can be able to manage those diseases to ensure that there's enough food for people in South Africa and throughout the world. We still need to make sure with the climate changing, we still have to find solutions to such things. So I definitely say they are in demand, not just plant pathology as a field, but I know agronomy is also in demand, horticulture is in demand. So I definitely say if you want to make a change in the world or even in your own country, you definitely need to go to AgriSciences, because we are indirectly providing solutions for our people to make sure that they have enough food to eat. Agriculture is important. I'd always say that. Even when people ask me, I always say that I consider it as important because I've studied agricultural sciences and I've seen how it actually helps people in our country and outside South Africa. So I'd definitely say go for agriculture.
Prof, I guess.
I fully agree. I think it's fair to say that most of our students are in high demand when they graduate to get positions, so forth that we struggle to get enough students in the postgraduate pipeline because everybody is offering our student a job by the time that they graduate. So I would say yes, it's in high demand.
Definitely, yes. I think we are going to run out of time. Before I want to give the last word to Amanda, I just want to quickly remind everybody that we have at the moment for the faculty a webinar series that is running. We've already had agricultural economics and conservation ecology. If you've missed those, please, you can send me an email. It's a relatively easy email address. It's M for Monica, H for house, and then at sun.ac.za. We can send you the recording for those two, but we also have tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, we've got viticulture and oenology, the wine and grape sciences webinar. On Thursday, we've got one for food science, we've got plant and soil sciences and animal sciences coming up. So if you want to have in-depth information, then please, the whole evening you would be able to send us your questions in the chat and we will be able to answer that, specifically about the veterinary science that we received tonight. A final word, Amanda, from your side. Any advice that you want to give to prospective students that are currently matric, coming from you as a young student?
I think one thing I would say is that work hard while you're still in matric to ensure that you do qualify for our programs here in Stellenbosch. And when you make it to university, do not isolate yourself from people. If you need any form of help, reach out to your lecturers, reach out to the academic staff. They are always willing to help. I've personally experienced that in Stellenbosch, and if you really do need help, just go to them. They are always happy to help. I know from my own department, they are always willing and happy to help me. So if ever you feel like you need a place where you feel as if I am welcome here, I feel as one of you, definitely go to Stellenbosch, but not just to Stellenbosch, but study in the Faculty of AgriSciences. Thank you.
Awesome. Prof, last final word.
AgriSciences rock, so don't even think about it. Send in your applications.
And there you've heard it. We welcome your applications at the Faculty of AgriSciences, closing date 31st of July. If you've got any questions or queries, you're more than welcome to email me, Monica, at mh@sun.ac.za. Have a wonderful evening. Work hard. See you soon.